Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention.
Salutations, folks. Welcome to another episode of Phirst Contention. I am one half of your starting co-host, Ty Sosina, and Mar's not with us, but we're in good hands. We got Duran, fan favorite, back on the show. Hey, thank you for joining us.
It's great to be back. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate you guys having me back here.
You know, I mean, we got tired of Mar's limited knowledge on the show, so we thought we'd beef it up with Senior Carrington.
Thank you. I'm ready.
Cool. Any shout outs before we start?
Just shout out to those watching the show. Hopefully we can provide some entertainment today.
It's only entertainment. Right, you are.
That's right.
We sport on deals, on court.
Now, I love when we get these serious topics that correlate to sports so we can have a deeper conversation. By this point, I'm sure everyone's aware of what's going on at Mizzou.
Absolutely.
Tim Wolf has stepped down due to a hunger strike by one of the students.
Yes.
The football team saying, you know, we're just not going to play. We're not going to engage in any football activities until Wolf steps down, president of the university, and not really taking the right steps to ensure that what's happening on campus is met with a resolution. I mean, your thoughts on Wolf stepping down?
I think it was the right move. I think that if you're not doing the job that you're tasked to do and at hand, then there shall be repercussions for that. You got students, hunger strikes, you got faculty members, coaches, players. So it's a very big issue, and I think he did the right thing.
Agreed, man. His back was against the wall. His back was against the wall, Marv. And it says something when not only are your athletes taking the stand,
yes,
but the faculty as well. The faculty was ready to walk out as well. So you got to listen to folks. We were talking before we started. It's hard to be responsible for individuals at a school, but a timeline has been released. And if you don't listen to the people, they don't feel like you're taking enough action. You got to do it. I mean, he said he felt like he needs to do it for his love for MU.
Absolutely. And I think if you look at the timeline, something has to be done along those lines. Yeah, it's absolutely difficult to stop everybody in every situation, but precautions need to be met. And I think that was the problem there at Mizzou. So for the love of Mizzou.
When things come to a head, it's best to stay ahead of it. And he was responsive and not, taking action on it.
We sport on deals, on court.
Let's shift the conversation to the football players. The football players, Jonathan Butler, member of Phi Beta Sigma, starting safety for the team is Anthony Sherrills and Peyton Head, also member of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the chapter out there. Shouts out.
Bros.
But mainly the football team, stepping out and joining Butler in his hunger strike and saying, we're not going to take place in any football activity until Wolf steps down. If Marv was here, he'd talk about this new athlete we get in 2015. Thoughts on the team, taking that kind of a stance?
I think that was amazing. For the first time, you got to see the power that student athletes have, and you got to see them exercise this power. And just to go along and to piggyback, look at the coaches to support their players.
For sure.
That's really huge. Oftentimes you'll see coaches stifle the growth or social media, like activism, things like that. But the coaches stood behind their players 100%. I like what they're doing down there at Mizzou.
Huge shout out needs to go out to Gary Pinkel.
Yes.
Huge shout out. When we discussed what happened with Steve Sarkisian, all the stress for being a coach, the pressure to win, for him to say, you know what? Go ahead, I'm behind you completely. It seemed like the whole university was behind them.
Yes.
And we saw what happened when everyone joins together for a cause. It's crazy, Duran, when you see something that's not right. Yeah. Instead of everyone just sitting back and letting it happen, everyone comes together and we see real change.
Absolutely.
Imagine that. Imagine that. We could definitely read to other things, but just to play devil's advocate, And it was someone who didn't want to be named who said that had the team been, 7-0, 8-0, he doesn't think the team would have went on strike. A member on the team. Do you see them actually going through with this? Had they been in the running, for a college football playoff?
I absolutely do, because if you looked at the factor of what's going on, they play BYU this weekend, and that's a big money maker. So to stand up there, you're talking about kids that are potentially going to be drafted, that a game not played hurts their draft stock, which, could be just as important as a 7-0, 8-0 start. So I do think that we would have seen the same consequence, and I think it would have been a lot sooner, actually, if it had been that record.
Now, athletes are a little isolated from the rest of the general student population.
True.
And while I'd love to believe that they still would have taken this stance, in this day and age with the college football playoff every Tuesday, you want to know if you're in, you're trying to win that nice little trophy. I'm sorry to say that I don't know if it would have been the same had they been undefeated.
Right.
They've been a force in the SEC there since they joined, so we'll see. But all in all, hey man, shout out to the team.
Shout out to the team.
Shout out to the Bros. Shout out to Jonathan Butler. If you're looking for more information, there's a lot of sites out there, but check out watchtheyard.com, especially for that Greek tie-in.
Absolutely.
We sport on deals, on court.
Lastly, what does a move like this, a protest, a successful protest like this, say in terms of the NCAA and the student athlete, the power that you said they have? I mean, what's that? Should someone be scared of that? What are we dealing with here?
Lately, we've been seeing this shift of people not knowing about the NCAA not knowing about their power, and they're still trying to exert it. I think this gives us a big, kind of a shout out to what kind of power the NCAA really does have. These students exercise their power. If these students aren't willing to play these games and perform and to make the NCAA, Big Brother, that money, you're going to start to see the power of the NCAA go down. And now you're going to start to see schools starting to be like, do we really need the NCAA? I think that's the shift that we're going to move towards, the NCAA losing some of their power.
I'm going to give some more shouts to the athletes themselves. When we discuss the issue at Oklahoma with SAE, we talk about a lot of the racial undertones and history that a lot of these old schools have all over the nation, but especially in the Deep South. And I question, why do certain players go to these schools with such a history of this? Not to mention Ole Miss recently when Obama got elected, obviously SAE. But with these players really say, you know what? Because of this, because of the way you treat people who look like me or who are disenfranchised, I'm just not going to do it. You hit them in the pockets, Deron. You hurt them in the pockets,
Absolutely.
And that's where you can see real change. Football is the moneymaker, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
What was the stand to make? $1 million from that game against BYU on Saturday? That's going to go? Ooh,
no thanks. We're here for something more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Mizzou.
We sport on deals, on court.
We talked about it earlier in the season. D Rose and the Butler. Not only them, but the Bulls as a whole. It seems like they're kind of going in different directions. Yes. Deron, do we need a separation here? Do you see them breaking up?
I think we do need a separation. I think it is time to break up. I think Jimmy Butler is the leader on that basketball team. He questioned Derrick Rose's work ethic. What does that tell you when another star questions another star's work ethic? Shaq a la Kobe? Ooh, let's go here. I think that it's time to break up. The man is obviously can't stay healthy, and I think Jimmy Butler is the emerging star.
Okay, so in the East, when you have to face LeBron, okay? So you're telling me that Jimmy Butler by himself can beat LeBron and the Cavs?
I don't think Jimmy Butler by himself can beat the Cavs, but I think you can get another piece out there. There's other missing pieces that you can. Why don't you make a play for that? What's his name? Kevin Durant during the offseason?
That would be pretty nice. That would be pretty nice.
Jimmy?
I don't think a separation needs to occur, okay? You need as much star power, and whether we want to admit it or not, Derrick Rose is some semblance of a star. He can make things happen. Granted, new offense with Fred Hoiberg, it looks like it's flowing a little bit more. So lots of other people are getting their shots. Nikola Mirotic stepping up.
Absolutely.
You do have Aaron Brooks. Like I said, bring him off the bench. Bring him off the bench. Marv questioned it because Rose is making so much, but you bring Noah off the bench. I think if you shorten his span of his ability to get injured, let him play short minutes whenever you need a burst, I think it's a well-off team, well-around. They're well-rounded. So Bring him off the bench, but don't let him go. Let's stay together.
Not at all. Not at all.
Record deal.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hey, I'm just trying to flip a little something to some change.
Do a little bit.
We sport on deals, on court.
D Rose, can he still be an elite player?
It's going to be very difficult for him to be an elite player still, and I'm going to say no.
Why are you hating?
Two bad knees say otherwise, sir. Two bad knees. You have to keep up with these guards. Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry with the shot.
Boy.
Oh, this Russell Westbrook, John Wall. These are some of the guards he's going to have to face night in, night out. And on two bad knees, I just don't think he can do it anymore.
Did you see what he did against the Thunder? Season high in points. I mean, toe-to-toe with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think he can be elite. But I think he can be great, okay? And from D Rose, all you need right now is great, because this isn't the team that he literally had to carry on his back would force him to have those bad knees, okay?
Absolutely.
Again, they are well-rounded. You've got players who can make plays for you, and they'll open up the lane. You continue to get into the lane and not keep going down and crash dummy. So I don't think he can be elite. I don't think we'll ever see 2011 MVP Derrick Rose again. But as long as you stay healthy, there's a chance, okay? I mean, just stay healthy.
I concur. Him great is better than most people's good.
Exactly.
And it can help them on the East. The East isn't as loaded, but it's going to be tough against the Jeff Teagues and John Walls of the world.
We sport on deals, on court.
Not only did I go through the East, but obviously you need to go to the West to ultimately get a title.
Absolutely.
So let's say this separation does happen. Can the Bulls win it all without D Rose, their hometown hero?
Absolutely not, because they, like you said, they don't have enough star power. Star power is huge. Night in, night out, you still have to respect D Rose and his name and his game, because he can go off for 30 plus. He can dish out 10 plus assists. So you don't know about that. They can't win it all with him. They don't have enough with Jimmy and Powell.
Give me some. Night in, night out. Respect D Rose, his name, and his game. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That is beautiful.
Chi-Town, stand up.
Chi-Town, stand up. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. But I agree. Will they? That remains to be seen, but I think their chances drop significantly without my man Derrick Rose, okay? He's an unknown. There are known knowns, there are unknown unknowns. And
yes.
His unknown, that potential, it's like drafting Jimmy Graham and just keeping him on your bench, because you're not sure what's going to happen at the end of the season. Don't trade him.
But it's got to happen.
Don't drop him. It's got to happen.
You can't trade away star power.
Please. He's on my team. Please. It's got to happen. Jimmy, I know you're watching this. He's probably not watching this.
He needs you.
We sport on deals, on court.
Background. Greg Hardy plays one game in 2014, misses the rest of the season because of what happened with him and his then girlfriend, Nicole Holder. He comes back this year. Jerry Jones signs with the Cowboys. He was found guilty. Appealed the decision, and charges were dismissed because Nicole Holder decided not to, go through with the questionings and the investigation there.
Yep.
So after the photos are released, because at the meantime, Ray Rice is just chilling. What do you have to say about the fact that Hardy is wearing that Star of America's team?
Now that's near and dear to me. That's my team.
Yes, that's why you're here.
I think that I don't think he should be playing right now. I just think that there's a lot going on. Do I love what he brings to the team? Absolutely. But I think that domestic violence is serious. Anytime you've got ex-players campaigning, anytime you've got star celebrities going through these type of situations, it's a very important thing. And there's a man, like you said, by the name of Ray Rice that could help all kinds of teams, who admitted to his wrongdoing, said what he did, and he's still out of a job to this day. And I just don't think it's right. I agree that it's wrong that he's playing right now.
For sure. I think that's the biggest piece is the remorse.
Yeah.
Rice showed a bunch of remorse, and where does that leave him? Greg Hardy, he only came back and started talking about Tom Brady, his wife, Giselle's sister.
Yeah.
He's going off on the sideline. He's smacking clipboards from special teams coach. Like Marv said, that man crazy. That man crazy. So something needs to be done. To a certain extent, you shouldn't be able to dictate what your workers are doing outside of a job. But when we're talking domestic violence and they need to know that it is a privilege to play in the NFL. You don't get to do that and then just mosey back onto the field and get paid for this. I think a precedent needs to be set. He should not be playing right now. This is very, very serious. He shouldn't be playing right now.
This is a proud organization and a proud fraternity and a proud brotherhood that these men get to be a part of. And I just think that it's a situation that needs to not be taken lightly. And right now, it seems to be taken lightly. You have a owner/GM backing him in this situation, and obviously he does need some type of help, and I think he does. And that's first and foremost what needs to be important.
Not to mention Brady give him this extension. It sounds like he's about to get an extension. So again, Ray Rice, San Francisco, Atlanta Falcons, Houston out there.
The list goes on.
There's a lot of people who need some running backs. I mean, Ray Rice just chilling like, what's up?
Yeah.
We sport on deals, on court.
Charles Barkley made some headlines today. He believes that we're kind of throwing away our black youth and that Greg Carter really needs some help. Based on what you read from what Barkley said, what are your thoughts on his on what he said?
I think Barkley made a lot of good points at times. I do think that he does need help. I think that the situation, it should have never happened. And he doesn't condone it, nor do I condone it. But I do think he needs help. People forget about people like Chris Henry, people like Brandon Marshall, people's lives that we could have possibly saved, especially Chris Henry. Man. Look at Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall's doing a lot better now. He had some domestic violence issues, some anger issues going on. So Charles Barkley is right in that sense. Greg Hardy does need help.
Agreed, but I would echo this sentiment. Hardy has shown no remorse.
Yeah.
Zero. I mean, even if, can you fake it? Can you fake it, Greg, please? And then I can have a little bit of sympathy for you. But it seems like he doesn't care. He's like, this happened in the past. Y'all just get over it. I'm here to play football. But again, he does make some good points, okay? But this isn't one of those scenarios.
He does. And
I don't think we're closing the door too soon on it. If he shows remorse, then let's take a chance. But he does need help. That's for sure. But this isn't one of those Brandon Marshall cases because Marshall was willing to change. Greg Hardy doesn't look he's willing to change.
And then we got the fact too. Lane Johnson said he didn't see him himself. So is that the gateway to accepting change and the remorse? Is he feeling? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't have that answer for you. But like you said, he does need to show that. And if Lane Johnson is correct that he didn't see him himself, maybe it is starting to get to him. And hopefully it's not just the emotion of everything happening.
Agreed.
We sport on deals, on court.
It is time for your weekly college football playoff ranking recap. The selection committee has come out. Clemson. Thank you. Clemson. Woo! Clemson. Bama. Roll Tide. Ohio State. Notre Dame. And then you've got Iowa and Baylor on the outside looking in. Did the committee get it right, Duran?
Outside of, I'll just go, the committee got it right. My only question mark is that Notre Dame question mark. And how do I feel about a Deshaun Kaiser-led team? I think that they did well. I think that there's some situations that have come to play. He did take his team down to Clemson in his third start ever and only lost by 2.
This is true.
So, the committee got it right now.
You say, okay, Bishop Bullwinkle, did the committee get it right? Can you let us know, please?
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
People are falling in love with the Notre Dame luster, the Notre Dame brand, okay? I'm sorry, but Notre Dame does not deserve to be in the top 4 right now. Yes, I mean, they had a good game at Clemson, and we've seen what Clemson has done, throughout the season. But there's still a lot of season left. That's why I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna flip out because all in all, this will work its way out. Iowa. I would love to see Iowa a little bit higher. And I would like to see, Baylor at this point. Granted, they did lose their quarterback for the rest of the season, but they're still rolling. So, but Notre Dame, I don't think they should be in the top 4.
Not right now?
Not right now. You can leave them kind of close, but they shouldn't be in the top 4.
So you trying to tell me that you think Iowa could jump Notre Dame right now?
Well, at least Iowa is undefeated.
We got some views about who they played. We can talk about that later.
We sport on deals, on court.
We're going to get into our top 4 teams Again, I just don't think Notre Dame should be that high. But if I had to pick 4, I think you're okay with Clemson, obviously.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with Bama, especially after what it did to Fournette.
Roll Tide.
And I am cool with, who's the other team?
Ohio State.
Yeah, they're Ohio State. You got to leave them in. I'm going to show some love to Oklahoma State, okay? This is a team that just dropped TCU from the ranks of the unbeaten. And in the Big 12, where you don't see a lot of defense, I've seen them seal games that were already out of reach with consecutive pick sixes, okay? So this is a team that puts up point, that finds a way to get on the board on defense. Oklahoma State, man, show them some love. And again, they will play Baylor. They will play Oklahoma. So we'll see what the rest of the season has in store for them.
Okay. I respect your top 3. I think that they're good.
What about the 4th team? You don't like the 4th team?
My 4th team in the country, sir, is Stanford.
Stanford squad
Cardinal.
that lost to Northwestern. The journalism
They lost to Northwestern in the beginning of the year. Everybody was on the gravy train with Northwestern, but now look what they've done. They went to USC, beat USC. They went to UCLA.
Are reeling USC.
Hey, they were still USC at the time.
Okay.
Who beat Utah? They also went to UCLA, beat UCLA.
Good point.
And their very last game before the Pac-12 championship will be against none other than number 4, Notre Dame. So
Awesome.
if Notre Dame can run the table the rest of the way, they play Notre Dame at the end of the year, they beat them. I do think that they have to jump Oklahoma State. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of bedlam that'll take place. I think Oklahoma will take care of the rest of that, though.
Man, Oklahoma State gonna put up points on Stanford. That's all I'm saying. So I'm a roll with Oklahoma State. You know, the Cowboys out there. You can roll whatever you want. But we'll be back here next week to see what this weekend shakes out. Man, TCU, MSU.
Shout out to the fallen.
It hurts. I know it hurts.
We sport on deals, on court.
Like, is it what, 6-2?
Yeah, they a Super Bowl team, though?
Ain't no Super Bowl team.
God.
Ain't no Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings, 6-2, tied atop the NFC North with the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
Impressive win over a lackluster offensive Rams squad, but a win nonetheless. But that's not the story. We all saw what happened when Joyner hit a sliding Teddy Bridgewater. And, you know, Zimmer came out. We do have the history with the defensive coordinator for the Rams, Greg Williams. For those who don't know, that is Bounty Gate Ground Zero defensive coach for the New Orleans Saints. Duran, Bounty Gate 2?
I think it's a little early to rule Bounty Gate 2 because you got Teddy and Brett. But nonetheless, the hit was late, and I think it was just a bad play, a dirty play. Led it with his shoulder. Teddy's clearly giving himself up.
Clearly.
You knock a kid out, young quarterback. You know, LaMarcus Joyner is also a young player. I think he's got a lot to learn in this league and a lot of growing up to do. But I think that Greg Williams needs to be investigated again.
You think he needs to be investigated?
I think he needs to be investigated.
I disagree, okay? This team doesn't have the history. Now, people are going to call into question Ben Roethlisberger going down earlier in the season when he got hit low by Mark Barron. But these look like incidentals to me. The LaMarcus Joyner hit, that one looked just dumb. It looks like a dumb rookie making a dumb play. Again, used against a young quarterback.
Yes.
Young quarterback. The man looked like he's 14. Led with a forearm,
Yes.
hit him. But this is not Bounty Gate 2. Minnesota, relaxed. I know you guys are still in your feelings about that. I think Teddy's okay. I think he passed the concussion protocols. He'll be out there next week against Oakland, which will be interesting to see 2 second-year quarterbacks go at it.
Back to back, if I believe.
Ooh,
Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy ran out the first and Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Man, Minnesota could have had Derek Carr.
Man, the Texans could have had another car.
Whoopsie.
We sport on deals, on court.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blaine Gabbert led the 49ers after benching Colin Kaepernick to a win over the one-loss Atlanta Falcons. I mean, we're here. Fuel to the fire. We don't need the water. Let it burn.
Tell 'em.
We got to go in on these Falcons, man. We got to go in on these Falcons, bro.
Are the Falcons a Super Bowl team?
Why you always lying?
Oh my God. No, they're not a Super Bowl team. I love what Dan Quinn did with them. I love how Dan Quinn had us drinking the Kool-Aid. I love how we believed in Devontae Freeman.
That Kool-Aid
loved
was
it
sweet.
all. Sweet. Where has Roddy White been? Please tell me where Roddy's been.
Man.
Can you find him? Put out
I can't.
APB. I don't know where he's been. All season long, they were talking about him, hyping the train, hyping Julio, hyping this, hyping that Dan Quinn-led defense, and they've disappeared and led. Who'd they lose to again?
They lost to the Titans, was it?
No.
The Bucks?
It was the Bucks, wasn't it? It was just, I don't know. It
It
was
was a low-ranked team. Dare I make this comparison?
49ers. You're right, yep.
Well, the 49ers last week,
Dang, yeah.
we talk about Matt Stafford and how overrated he is and how he has one weapon, Calvin Johnson, and without him it's nothing.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Matt Ryan is starting to look like Stafford. It's Julio or bust. Literally, if Julio's not in that offense, I don't know what's going to happen. I know Roddy White's up in age, but can you get him the ball? Can he get some of the attention off of Julio? And if Freeman's not running wild like he has, they're coming back down to earth. This team does not look very impressive, and you wonder why a bunch of people weren't ready to jump on the bandwagon. I don't know. ATS shouted.
You know what they look like? They look like that team that played the Giants in the divisional round that put up 2 points.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta, y'all got some work to do.
We sport on deals, on court.
But work's finished here. Thanks for watching, folks. Teron, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
We appreciate it.
It's always good to be out there.
Before you finish, don't forget, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter while you're at it. Go ahead and subscribe to that their YouTube channel. Final thoughts?
Just appreciate being here again. Thank you.
Hey, man, we're happy to have you. For Deron to my right, for Steve Davis in the back, voicing G-O-D, I am Ty Sosina. Until next time, folks. Trays up.
Ride with Phirst Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoffs.